Hey, what's up, Nation Youth? It's A-Ron from Youth Nation and my cat Mia. We just want to let you know that we got the audio clip from the interview we did a while back. Same day we did the Fionn McCool's show on my birthday, so November 17th. Actually, I should remember that. But yeah, so this was for 96.9 Humber Radio. I think that's the station number. Anyways, so yeah, we did an interview with a guy who was there at the college. Named Adrian. Shout out to him. He was really cool. Seems like a really nice guy. He actually got to meet Blake and Wild from 92.5 Kiss FM, which is Toronto's station, one of their best stations. Actually, my favorite station. So that's cool that you got to do that. But anyways, so here's the interview we did with him, and hope you enjoy it. Oh, and also to let you know, Levitated Motivated comes out this Friday on the 7th. Isn't that right, Mia? Oh, she's falling asleep. Okay. Peace, guys.
So, guys, appreciate it. Thanks for coming out. I hope it wasn't too much of some trouble getting here.
No.
Going a little bit on a wild goose chase through the parking lot.
Just the parking lot.
Yeah, just that stupid parking lot. There was a fire truck outside.
Yeah. It was like in a smaller fire truck. It wasn't like a full-size one, but
We showed up one day, and there like the lockdown procedure went. And so we all go outside, and we're all just standing literally like 2 feet away from the door, just kind of chilling. And the dean comes out and goes, "So that was a bomb threat?" We're like, "Oh, we stood 2 feet away from the door. That was intelligent." Yeah, so when we see first respond medical units, no one really cares and just kind of like, school could be burning down. They go, whatever. So yeah, no, I appreciate you guys thinking out. Just if you wouldn't mind introducing yourselves.
I'm Aaron Hunter. My stage name's A-Ron.
And I'm James Carson. My stage name's Canadian Camo.
So right off the bat, I'm going to ask, where'd the stage names come from?
Well, mine came from a friend in grade. He gave it to me in grade 9, just basically because my name's Aaron with 2 A's, so he just A-Ron. And I just always thought when you have a stage name, it's just easier to remember someone by, because a lot of people have the name Aaron. It's like, oh, it's Aaron, it's just some kid, but so that's where I got that. Just decided to go with it.
Nice.
Mine was a friend back in high school. He said I was so white I could blend in the snow and called me Canadian Camo. So I thought, hey, keep that.
Yeah, that'll work. We have a couple of us that we've been trying to push for stage names for the radio station during like certain hours of the thing. But it's really funny because me, the one that I got stuck with for the longest time, my last name is Pepe. And nowadays, when I introduce myself, see, I hated my last name in high school because everyone made fun of it. But nowadays, when I say to people, like, "Hi, my name's Adrian Pepe," they kind of give me this look. And I'm like, "Well, that's a cool last name." And I'm like, "Yeah, think of the skunk from Looney Tunes. You'll never forget it." Yeah. So literally, I either get the way Rocky calls his wife in the Rocky movies, like, "Hey, Adrian," or I get called Pepe Le Pew. It's fantastic. Like, I don't even have a say in it. The people in my program just decide to throw that out there. But all right, so Canadian Camo. That's hard to. One of our teachers, he's a professional podcaster. His name is Snowball, for that almost exact reason. Like his friends all made fun of him, and his name is Snowball Sailor.
And it works great because the shorter version of A-Ron is just AA. So when we usually sign stuff, like leaving a comment to our fan, AA or CC. So it's just easy.
Genius, almost as if the entire thing was planned out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got a little bit of the tidbit in the email you guys sent me. I got a couple of those promos, I guess you could call them. Is that where it started, or is there?
It goes back a lot older than that. We started about 2 years and maybe a few months ago, but the most recent stuff is like what I sent you.
Mm-hmm.
Our better stuff.
Yeah.
Pretty much, because back in the day, it was like, oh, God.
It started out with just me and just a simple software on my computer and the blue Snowball microphone, which was the first ever USB condenser microphone, and then it just took off from there. It just kept progressing and seeing that people actually liked it when we performed at the first ever show, which was a all-nighter dance, and people liked it, so we just...
Nice, where was that?
At our school.
Oh, okay.
We used to, New Brunswick.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Go to school
really
there,
out there. So what made you guys choose the format you went with? I mean, Canadian hip-hop and kind of... It's a little rare to see nowadays, and
it's just kind of stuck. I mean, because the first beats I've ever made was like hip hop, and then I went to him. This is when we were first starting. This is like way back, but so I just went to him, and it was easy for us to rap over. And well, now what we do is rap and then sing chorus. So it's like, but that's just what we picked up on. And this is what we stuck.
Because we tried different genres, and we keep getting more compliments on our hip hop, poppy stuff.
Fair enough.
Or others.
Yeah, normally you'd go for what people like, and that's situations like that. It's good to cave and kind of say, okay, this is the feedback we're getting, kind of thing. Makes sense, no? Because we see on our radio station a lot of the Canadian hip hop that you know or you listen to is not originally hip hop. It's kind of, or they're either really mainstream and we can't play too much of them. Like you get your Drake albums. Like we're not allowed to touch Justin Bieber because even on his YouTube accounts, he has patents and he has legal copies of. So we can't even try to recognize, we'll say a great Canadian artist for the sake of it, but we can't even recognize someone that intense because they just jump really quickly. And it's unfortunate, but I mean, lucky for us, it's a bit of a different market, so we get a bit of an advantage. So how did you guys come together? So how did this start? Kind of thing.
Friendship, you mean?
Yeah, like obviously the music wasn't what sparked the friendship. You guys seem to be.
No, we've been friends for like
since
a long
like
time.
kindergarten, really.
Just because we're all like throughout school, we were always like kind of the kids where we weren't like the I'll say quote popular kids who just sat around acting. We were the kids who were like having fun in our way or our eyes. We were out like acting like goose and just being ourselves, and that's why we had a core group of friends that we always stuck with. So it was like a group of like 6 that we had friends until just last year or 2 years ago, pretty much, when we graduated.
You're talking to a theater student. No, I totally get like the drama section of the school. They're all really weird and try too hard, but we were having a great time. No, okay. So when did the idea that you guys realized how much you liked music? When did that kind of?
Well, I started off playing piano, and then I was like, it's not really my thing, so I wanted to play guitar. So I taught myself how to play guitar, and then I was in a band formed like previously to us, and then that band wasn't being serious, so then that was in like 2010, 11, and then after the end, closer to the end of 2011, in July, August, September is when we started, but I started making rap beats because it's weird because I listened to, at the time when I was doing the rock band, I listened to more rap. And then I listen to a lot more rock now. It's very strange, but it just happened, and then
kind of bounces back and forth.
We just kind of bonded.
Yeah, because one day we were doing like a freestyle contest on a bus just randomly. I did really well, but now I can't freestyle worth crap. It doesn't work out for me. It's like I can't rhyme off the top of my head.
You got to plan it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
No, it's okay. So that's understandable. 2 years ago in this program, I don't know if you guys watch George Strombolopoulos.
Yep.
He's a graduate of our program, distinct from our program. Every so now and then in the spring, he'll drive his car up to the radio station, just sit and just do this, and just kind of put his feet up and just turn to the radio and say, well, someone happened to be talking about an article that he did and how they didn't like George. Well, we're not allowed to be an opinion. Like, we're not a talk show yet. We don't have our own reputation. So you mean George was listening? Yeah, unfortunately, so that was a bit of an issue. So the name is my next question. It's a little, actually I'm going to say really original. Where did that come from?
Well, it was funny. We were doing songs at the time, Nation of Youth, and Disson had a part where it said Youth Nation and all that stuff. And then I was like, to Aaron, I was like, hey, why not Youth Nation? It's catchy. We represent the youth. We were 16, 17 at the time, so why not?
Yeah. I noticed with the hats too. When did the merchandise start?
Well, for personal, we bought personal merchandise quite a while ago.
Started after right before after we graduated, really.
Yeah, right. We had our first shirts we had at our first ever show just for ourselves. But then after more shows, we had like a lock-in dance and then talent shows, and then people started wanting to buy it, so we made. And now we have hats. We have like phone cases, shirts, hoodies. I was actually gonna wear. I have a shirt and a hoodie. I was gonna wear it, but I'm all dressed up for the show later. So.
Yeah, no, I understand that. So do you guys work without a manager? Do you do that kind of stuff yourself?
All our own.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It's very hard. It's a lot of work.
I was just about to say, how does one go about managing themselves?
He gets like everything going, and I try to organize it pretty much.
Yeah. So I'm the one who I'm looking on Kijiji because thankfully for Kijiji, it's actually very helpful because we find majority of our shows off Kijiji, and we found this through Kijiji.
Absolutely.
So when people ask, it's like, who's your managers? It's us. We just do it ourselves.
Manage your own thing, kind of thing. Perfect. So you mentioned you do a lot of your research on finding local events and stuff like that. Like Kijiji's all my friends were like, yeah, we got we got lists on Craigslist for this assignment. I'm like, nah, do Kijiji. It's local.
Yeah.
It's more to the point. I mean, you get people like, I've responded to job emails on Kijiji and then literally 2 minutes later going, I posted this 10 minutes ago. Let's start talking kind of thing. Can you talk about some of the shows you guys have done through Kijiji and that kind of own personal management?
Yeah, so the Kijiji really came into place once we moved up here, because in New Brunswick we were locally known anyways. We were like local celebrities because it was just a part of New Brunswick was Fredericton. I don't know if anyone's heard of it, but smaller place, so we were locally known, so we didn't have to use Kijiji. But when we came up here, we didn't really know anyone other than family, so we really had to utilize social media. So I looked on Kijiji and I found a show that was in North York, and it was like a fashion expo thing, and it went really well. Everyone just loved us there. We were complete strangers. And then the next was like auditions for Youth Day in Toronto, and then another fashion show. But the biggest show was we performed at the Mod Club just recently, maybe a month or two ago.
Yeah. And
we found that through Kijiji because they were holding, it was like a contest, so they were posting an ad.
And just simple response, and yeah, perfect. So going into your shows and a little bit like that, obviously looking for shows on Kijiji like will be a little realistic. It's not going to last forever, kind of thing. But it is a fantastic place to start. Are you looking at other ways to kind of branch out and kind of get a little bit bigger as time goes on?
Yeah, well, like we try to gain. That's why we're trying to use Kijiji as much as possible now to gain to broaden our name so people know us. And then once people know us, kind of we can friends of friends tell people. But so far it's only been like Kijiji, or if we knew someone.
Do you get any ambitions for coming forward? Like anything that, even if it's not completely possible, a dream show or something like that?
Oh man, we have so many dreams.
Warped Tour would be really good.
Yeah, Warped Tour was they have it in Toronto and Montreal, but most of it's in the States. But
I've luckily been on 2 buses across Warped Tour.
Yeah,
just
so
friends who know people.
Warped Tour, we would like to perform at the Opera House in Toronto, which we think we probably can. We have so many dreams. We set goals, like
Absolutely.
Realistic goals, and then we have more ones that's like, sure, we'd like to have like millions of viewers.
Yeah,
and
like
stuff.
One of our oldest songs we're trying to redo better for our CD or EP. Dream Big. That was what we always put, because our haters back in high school, they always made fun of us, but we stuck with dreaming big, and
Absolutely.
we're getting further than they thought.
Yep.
Absolutely. No, it's always great to look back at somebody and go, ha ha, this kind of thing.
It's funny because the Dream Big song, that was what we had about maybe 10 to 12 songs prior to then. It's like people like, oh yeah, it's Aaron James making music. I don't know what it was about that song. It's like, because when we look back, it's like, oh, it's a good song, but it's not our favorite. But that was our thing. Everywhere we went in school, everywhere we went locally, everyone was yelling out Dream Big, sing Dream Big. So we have a shirt that says Dream Big on it.
Even our prom, someone played Dream Big for us.
Really?
At our own prom, they played Dream Big over at the PA, and everyone there was like singing to us.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy feeling.
Talk about a good start kind of thing. Yeah. So you mentioned you just recently moved and you've come to, I guess, the bigger city, we'll arguably say. Next steps are kind of thing, like are you stuff that you're really trying to lock down, and we'll say reasonable or realistic goals, because you got to have them obviously. So any realistic goals that are coming forward or looking kind of good?
Right now we are finishing our first debut CD. So that's the main thing. So that way when we go to shows, like, because now when we go to shows, we don't really have people's like, oh, do you guys have a CD? It's like, it's not done yet. So that's why we're trying to finish, because when we get shows, we can bring the CD to shows and sell them maybe for cheap, and then that way to get your name out there. So then people, hey, look, I have this CD. Listen, we have that, and we're trying to get some like a professional music video and just step up our quality of sound.
Even reaching out to other bands, maybe doing like shows with them, opening for them.
Yeah, that was another big thing, touring with another band just to help. So all of their listeners listen to us, all of ours listen to them. Just cross promotion stuff.
Yeah, no, sometimes it's one of the better things to do it. I've seen, I've met some ridiculous people just simply quite out of the blue. Like a quick story, a good buddy of mine has been wanting to like perfect playing guitar for a really long time. And he noticed originally that the guy that he asked to as a Kijiji ad, the guy was like offering guitar lessons for cheap kind of thing, and my friend was like, absolutely. So the guy started playing, but his availability started getting lower and lower, and it was just kind of like, well, why is that kind of thing? And the guitarist that was teaching my friend just kind of went, you know what, here, we got a show coming up in Woodbridge.
Yeah.
You should totally come to it. So he invited me, and we ended up going to. The band is called The Envy, and they were opening up for the Stereos right after they got their like big release break through Much Music. And then that ended up leading us into, we spent an entire summer on Warped Tour just because they were an opening act, and it was just kind of like, how did you not notice that the guy teaching you guitar lessons is now Warped Touring? Like, how did that just go over your head? Kind of thing. No, so I totally understand when you just trying to connect with other bands and stuff like that. Have you had any success trying to reach out?
Online. We've actually collabed with people we have a really good friend that we collab with, always constantly. His name's stage name is Mark Louie, and he's over in the States. But we actually collab with someone where was he from? P. Dicey?
Nigeria.
In Nigeria, but we also knew someone up here she's growing quite big. Her name, her band name's All About Maggie. She's a local artist from Toronto. But yeah, we were thinking about collabing with her because she's growing quite large.
Nice, sounds good. So this next question is a little bit of the assignment, just because it's we got to get into a little bit of nitty gritty stuff. But I'm curious myself. The Canadian music market, I doesn't want to say sucks, but it has some serious competition and some serious roadblocks. Yeah. You have we'll call them the celebrities or artists that are a little way over their head and still charging $20 a CD, and then you've got people who are trying to compete into the market and they have to charge for a little bit less kind of thing. Not including the money and kind of stuff like that, because that comes with any business. Making money is always a knee. But what other challenges have you guys noticed when it comes to trying to bring yourselves up in Canada specifically?
There's not as many like what you said. There's not as many artists like us. It's hard to find someone who's willing to give a helping hand. Because we've contacted a lot of people. The amount of people I've contacted, labels and everything. It's they don't even give, because it's so there's so many musicians now, and there's a lot of them that aren't good. But because I don't know, Canada doesn't have they have a lot of good talent, but there's a lot of not so good.
Jump.
So.
Yeah.
I find they just don't even give it a listen, so it's hard.
Kicking in that door kind
I
of thing.
emailed probably about 200, let's just say 200 different people, ads, anything. I only get about maybe a quarter replies.
How many of them were positive?
Well, when I get replies, they're all pretty much, that's another thing that surprises us. Anytime we get replies, it's pretty much positive. When we perform a show, it's we don't know how this is going to go. We've never got booed yet. People always just seem to love us, so. But it's just that hard.
It's the energy. It's a new environment. Yeah, no, absolutely. It's all about... It's all about the energy you provide, and a lot of people are scared to kind of give someone their time for something that, especially in a genre like hip hop. There are a lot of people that are just, I wanted to say nervous, but kind of reluctant to touch hip hop because it's not their comfort zone. But then you listen to some of it, you're just kind of wow, this is really good. I know personally, I was always a classic rock kind of fan, and I even love Canadian rock, but stuff of the '90s, I always fell for it. Now that I've started radio, I used to tell everyone I love all genres of music, but country.
Yeah.
Well, there are days, and I get them 2-3 times a week. I gotta get up at 8 a.m. to go run a radio station, and from 8 to 11, it's all country music.
Yeah.
You can make the best of it, or you can sit there and mope because you're listening to country at 9 in the morning, and you're not even allowed a coffee. So it's it's quite the appreciation. That's why I think this assignment is something. I was more than ecstatic to do it because it's a chance to kind of broaden your listening.
Yeah.
On that note, other than I guess reaching out to YouTube is a phenomenal thing, but what would you prefer people to do when it comes to reaching out to your type of music?
Just definitely come out. We enjoy shows the best, so to come out to shows and
you
support.
Feel that it's the energy. It's hard to explain because you feel the music becomes you.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
And you and the fans and the people share that connection. That's, you can't really say what it is.
It's almost like no one else is in the room.
Yeah.
It's just you listening to something.
Yeah, because I know our favorite band, when we bought the CD, it's we love listening to this music and stuff. Because our favorite band's an American band called Hallelujah Undead. They're a mixture of hip hop and rock. So, but we went and saw them. It's we never knew how it's okay, a concert looks fun, and then going there, it's just, especially when you're seeing a band that you really like, it's just that energy that you get. It's this is the best thing ever. And plus, I've seen Metallica live, so
I will never say no to a band, an artist, new music. I will never say no. until I see them live.
Yeah.
Like, I've had so many artists who I'm just kind of like when Classified first came on the scene, it was just kind of like, okay, like, he's trying in hip-hop, like, he's not doing too bad of a job. And then I got to, they opened for Headley at the ACC, and I was like, wow, okay, so that's 30,000 people. That's an interesting venue. And I have a whole new respect for the guy just because his stage presence is incredible, and he's funny.
Yeah. And
he jokes around, and it's just, I totally get that. You can't say no to somebody. Like, if you're only going to listen to their CD and just kind of base off of that, like, you can't say no to them until you give them the chance to perform live, because it also gives some of the best performances ever. Like you say, you got to see Metallica live. I got a VIP for Avenged Sevenfold at Ontario Place, and Disturbed was the unannounced opening act. I'm in the VIP booth, and you just hear that, and you just hear Down With the Sickness come on, and I'm just kind of like, this is what this sounds live? Like, yeah, you can crank the bass, but when you hear it live in front of you, it's a totally different connection.
Yeah, it is.
You totally, no, I absolutely understand with that. So when you mentioned you've reached out to some labels and major artists and stuff like that, what kind of responses do you get?
So far from major labels, like, nothing. From independent labels, that we get a lot of people who want to, like, yeah, sure, we'll work with you, but they're usually charging a lot. And, like, because we do everything our own, we buy all of our own equipment, all of our own software, we don't really have the funds to do so. So we're really trying to get out there and do some, like, shows to broaden our name, and then maybe get, like, that's why we're doing our CD, because then we'll finally have something to sell for someone. Because, like, what we'll do is whenever we get money, if we make money from Youth Nation, we'll put it back into Youth Nation.
Absolutely.
And before, our merchandise, we sold a lot of merchandise before, but it was all, like, no profit. We couldn't make any money off it because our shirts, customizing the shirts and getting them shipped out to us, because we were in New Brunswick, and the person I had making was in Quebec, so it was a lot of work, and we didn't get any profit.
Absolutely. It's a little difficult when your name isn't a lot bigger than the people want it to be, and you're charging $25-$30 a t-shirt, and they just don't understand, like, that shit ain't cheap. I mean, making them custom t-shirts and shipping them out, like, that's not cheap. Like,
and then depending on where they are, it's like we have to ship them, which costs money as well.
Absolutely. So. No, I remember going to shows when I was in high school, and, like, CDs were $5-$10 and t-shirts were $10, and, like, I loved buying merch at concerts. Like, it was the best time to buy merchandise. And nowadays, I go to major label concerts, and I'm like, I went to go see Marianas Trench live, and I was like, one of my favorite bands, and what do you mean a hoodie is $65? Like, I could have bought that in, like, a major retail store. Like, no, that's not why I want to come to shows and buy merchandise. So, no, it's smart, though. Like, your priorities are clearly set, which is a good thing. My last question, we mentioned it on the way in, but you said you have a show tonight, if you wouldn't mind talking about that a little bit.
We're performing it's called Fionn McCool's in Brampton. It's on 11 Ray Lawson Boulevard, and it's just like an open mic / like, they're trying to set something up where it's like they'll do it every I think he said third Sunday. But so yeah, it's just, we are performing for 20 minutes. We're performing our original songs, Always There For You, and I Don't Care, and then a cover. But yeah, so definitely if you're in the area, check it out.
Perfect. Okay, I lied. I got one more question just because I got a bit of a sample of some of them, but you mentioned your original music.
Yeah.
So I personally can't do it. I mean, not saying I'm a songwriter myself, but especially when it comes to just writing stuff that is different and original. What's your secret? Like, how do you come up with original content in a market that A, is small, and B, is extremely judgmental, and that's a really bad combination to have?
I don't know. We'll both say this one. For me, it's like just my past, I guess. I went through really rough things, so it's like, I don't know. It's just when I was writing music, it just comes to me, and I just it's funny because when I was in high school and doing speeches in front of people, man, I would be nervous. I'd be shaking my voice. It's like I did not like it. But there's something about music that when we get up on stage and perform, it's just like, it just feels like home, and we don't get nervous, and it's something that I think comes natural to us. Anyone can learn to do it, but I think you can distinguish the natural talent, I guess, to the learned.
For me, it's same as him. It's past. It's like what I'm feeling now. It really depends. Like, I'll be writing actually like 3 different things. And I'm like, here. He's like, okay, we'll make a beat. We'll do this. And I think it's just connection. Yeah. It works out.
No, I totally get that. A lot of the stuff, you got to experience it to really understand it. And if you don't understand it, you're not going to be able to write and connect about it. So, especially in the music business, like, yeah, it's cheesy, but every time an artist releases a song about a stupid breakup, like, yeah, it's cheesy, but you at least get the emotional attachment.
I think the biggest secret in music is if you're just writing something that's just fake, that's not real. You like if you're a boring person, you have everything handed to you, and it's like if you're a musician that just blows up out of nowhere, and they are already because maybe they're already wealthy, so they put money into okay now they're big. That's not. I find the songs there is like I don't really get the message, but because our high school, we had people like a lot of people. It's like we like your music, and then go turn around behind our backs and talk so much like crap about us, and then so it's just it always gives us stuff to write about, and plus like going through the stuff we did, it's like I lost my girlfriend in a car accident, so.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, that we were both in. So it's like, we have stuff, like, and we both have stuff in our past that just pushed us. We're like, we're never going to give up. Absolutely. Hate on us, doesn't matter. We're still going to do it. That's what we love, so.
Absolutely. No, for sure. I mean, we have a saying in radio that our one of our coordinators, and it doesn't even restrict to radio, like, it's so true. People can hear you smile.
Yeah.
People can definitely hear you smile, and people can definitely hear when you're frowning. And there's a distinct difference between the two. So trying to do one while doing the other doesn't work.
Yeah, if you are in a state where you're upset but you're wanting to write about, I wanted to write a love song for something, it's not going to happen. If you're like going through a breakup or something, or if you can't find, it's not going to happen. You have to write true emotions. That's what we do. Absolutely,
and it's working out for you, it looks like. And I guess it's true. That is the secret. Like you'll always get people that fall for the market, but the better fans are the ones that are actually like, you know what, like. I thought of this listening to that song, and is there anything else you can really ask about?
We have fans that say like we saved them from rough times because of our music, and people that are another fans. A lot of our fans are like from the UK or Alberta and stuff like that.
Oh wow!
But it's like our fans say we party to your music when we're feeling down, or we're listening to music that helps us get through rough times, and that's the biggest dream come true, to help other people. Because as a kid, anyone in the world who listens to music, they always have their favorite music. Where like if they're having a bad day, they'll listen to music. Maybe if it's a different hobby, maybe not everyone's into music, but if you're listening to like your favorite artist and it cheers you up, that's like I want to be that artist someday. And it's like when we start hearing our like group of main fans saying that, it definitely means a lot.
Absolutely, no, absolutely. More time than I thought I would get, but when you talk about passion, I guess the clock runs away from you.
We always do that. We're like, okay, we're going to make this video, like an update video, and it's going to be 5 minutes, and it's like 20 minutes. So
I do live commentaries to a lot of the video games I play, and especially with YouTube nowadays, you're not allowed more than like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And you just get like for commentaries I do for League of Legends, and you're just like, sometimes them games don't last 45 minutes, and you're just like, damn, when did it stop recording? 20 minutes ago. Great. Now, guys, I really appreciate you coming out here. Fantastic. I mean, it's nice to see that there are people still in, especially Canadian music, that they're in it for a connection and not starting out
money.
Yeah.
It's more fans because even we inspire our fans too, also to make music.
Yeah, we've inspired a lot of our fans that now are in bands, and because they were maybe self-conscious that didn't think they could do it. Because like we can always admit we're not the best, but because we're in it with the right reasons, that's all that matters for us. Like I said, I'm happy as long as we're doing this music, and let's say we make money off the music, but it's just enough to get by, and like that's fine. That's all I want, just enough to make a living doing music.
Start, and where it goes from there is unlimited potential. You guys mentioned your social media. If you want to give it a shout out so I can have it on record and I can...
YouthNationMusic.com has all of our links on there, so just check it out.
Yeah, it has our Facebook, YouTube, Twitter,
SoundCloud, Reverb.
I love that SoundCloud. Submitting them links. No, I really appreciate it, guys, and thanks for coming out.
Yep.
No problem.
Thank you.